This property should have been a failed wholesale deal. It's located in Viter, Texas. The seller was motivated, the numbers look good, I got the property under contract, but there was one big problem. I couldn't find a buyer. And the reason why is a lesson every virtual wholesaler needs to understand. On today's video, I'm going to show you exactly how I turned a deal that most wholesalers would have canceled into a $10,293 profit using what I call the takedown method. All that and more coming up.
Attention wholesalers. There is a revolutionary new system called AI Flipper that uses AI to call sellers and set appointments for you. If you want to close more deals in less time, go to myaiflipper.com now.
If you're new here, my name is Jerry Norton. I make millions of dollars a year wholesaling and flipping houses. And here on my YouTube channel, I show you how to do the same. So if you want to be a flipping genius like me, subscribe to my channel and watch my videos. One of the biggest mistakes virtual wholesalers make is chasing rural deals. The leads are cheaper, the competition is lower, the sellers are more motivated usually, but what most wholesalers don't realize is that while rural properties are easier to contract, they're much harder to dispose of. The problem isn't finding the deal. The problem is finding the buyer. And that's exactly what happened on this property located in Viter, Texas. Now, if you've never heard of Viter, Texas, and it's pretty rural. I got it under contract for $34,000. At first, I attempted to do what every wholesaler does. I tried to assign the contract. I marketed the deal, we contacted buyers, we worked our network, and guess what happened? Nothing. There simply weren't enough active cash buyers in that market willing to buy the property. And that's one of the biggest challenges with rural properties. The further away you get from major metro areas, the smaller the cash buyer pool becomes. Now, most wholesalers at this point do one of two things. They either cancel the contract or they try to renegotiate the seller. But we chose option number 3. Instead of assigning the contract, we decided to buy the property ourselves. This is what I call the takedown method. We closed on the property, took legal title, I changed the locks, did a minor trash out, fixed a plumbing leak in the crawl space, cleaned it up a bit, and then listed it on the MLS. Now here's the key lesson. The MLS buyer pool is dramatically larger than the private cash buyer pool.
Find deals faster with PropWire. Search properties, skip trace owners, and get lead alerts. Download the PropWire app on the App Store or Google Play Store for free.
When you're wholesaling, you're trying to find one of a handful of active investors. When you're on the MLS, you're exposing the property to every buyer in the market. All you need is one buyer hiding under a rock. And that's exactly what happened with my deal in Viter, Texas. Let me break down the exact numbers and the timeline. I closed on the purchase on April 4th for $34,000. I used 100% private money to fund the purchase. I spent about $1,500 getting it ready to relist. My agent was Jenna Kelly with Real Brokerage. She was awesome and she listed it for 1%, but she also ended up representing the buyer, so she got another 3% for a total of 4% on the deal. Now I started the listing high at $79,900 because I thought I could get more. In 1 week without an offer, I lowered it to $69,900. Then a week later, after no offers, I lowered it to $59,900. So in 2 weeks, I went from $79,900 down to $59,900. And right away, I got a cash offer from an investor that we negotiated to $52,500 with a $2,500 earnest money and a closing just a few weeks later. So on June 4th, we closed. And I was in the deal then for about 61 days. Now here's the final breakdown on the numbers. The sale price was $52,500. The purchase was $34,000. Total closing fees, including when I purchased it and again when I resold it, was $3,700. I paid $1,500 in repairs. I paid $2,100 in commissions. I paid my private money investor about $815 in interest. So when you subtract out all of that, my net profit was $10,293 on a failed wholesale deal. Now, to standardize the takedown method, I like to look at percentages. So let's take a look at my deal. Relative to the resale price of $52,500, I purchased it for roughly 65%. Total costs were about 15%, making my net profit roughly 20%. Those numbers are almost exactly the takedown method formula that I teach. For homes under $100,000, I like to factor in about 65% on the buy price. That gives me a 15% budget for cost and about 20% for profit. For higher priced homes, I factor in 70% on the purchase, 10% for cost, and 20% for profit. So in this case, the formula worked out perfectly. Now here's a quick tip. When factoring the back-end resale value, or what I call the adjusted as-is value, make sure it's a fire sale value, because the takedown method is meant to be fast. You buy it, you do a few things, you get it back up on the market, you sell it quickly. I try to be in my deals for around 30 to 60 days. Sometimes they go a little bit longer, but the goal there is to get in and out quickly. So you want to make sure that you price it aggressively so it sells quickly. The last thing you want to do is have it sitting on the market not selling. And my deal here is a great example. I intentionally priced it a little high just to see if I could get it, but I based my numbers at a $50,000 adjusted as-is value. And then I lowered the price aggressively to get there until I got it under contract. But all said and done, the biggest lesson from this deal is that some properties simply aren't good wholesale deals. That doesn't mean they're bad deals, it just means they require a different exit strategy. Most wholesalers only know one way to make money: assign the contract. If they can't assign it, they kill the deal. But the best investors have multiple exits. This property was never a great wholesale deal, but it was a fantastic takedown method deal. And that's why understanding multiple exit strategies is so important. If all you have is a hammer, every problem looks like a nail. Now, caveat here, having said that, in the beginning, if you're new, I highly recommend that you do focus on just the assignment. Get that method down, get some deals under your belt, but at some point in time, you want to be more than just a one-trick pony. You want to have multiple exit strategies. Think about it this way: the more tools you have, the more deals you can do. Now, if you'd like to learn exactly how I analyze, fund, and sell deals using the takedown method, I put together a free takedown kit. Inside, you'll get my deal analyzer, my seller scripts, my funding pitch deck, and the exact framework I use on deals like this one. Just go to freetakedownkit.com to get that download. And if you find a deal like this, but you don't want to fund it yourself, I'll buy it and pay you a $10,000 finder's fee. Go to my10kcheck.com to learn more. Next, I want you to watch a video where I did a higher price takedown deal that we turned in 40 days for a $40,000 net profit. So watch that video now, and I'll see you on the next video.